Okay, now that your cake has cooled, it's time to prepare the filling and the topping. So first I'm going to start the topping off. And what the topping is just a chocolate ganache, which is just chocolate, which I have chocolate chips here, and they are Hershey's, and they're semi-sweet chocolate chips. You have 4 ounces of that, and you have a half a cup of heavy whipping cream, or you can use any kind of whipping cream. I use the heavy whipping cream. Yeah, it's fat, but it's good. Anyway, so you pour that half a cup of whipping cream into a saucepan. And you're going to take that saucepan and you're going to place that saucepan on your stove. And you're going on a very low, kind of medium heat. And you're going to heat that up until it comes to just barely a boil over a medium-high heat. Now, okay, my cream has come to a just beginning to boil, and what you're going to do to make the ganache is you're going to take your 4 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate chips, or chocolate. You can, it doesn't matter, you can use chocolate and chop it up yourself, but you want it chopped, so I just use the chips. It just makes it easier. I brought the cream to a boil, and I'm going to pour my chocolate into the cream. And you're just going to let that set, just sit in the cream for 5 minutes and allow that chocolate to begin to melt. While I'm waiting for that to happen, I'm going to begin my peanut butter filling. Now, my peanut butter filling is pretty much simply just going to be a peanut butter buttercream. And I'm going to put in about 3 tablespoons of butter. It's going to go into my bowl. Softened, of course. You want that brought to room temperature and softened. And about a 1/4 cup of peanut butter. Using my mixer, I'm going to mix up the buttercream and the peanut butter and the butter. Now, I'm now going to begin adding powdered sugar. And this is just going to vary as the amount that you're going to need. I'm going to start with a 1/2 cup at a time. It'll probably be anywhere from 1.5 cups to 2 cups. I use a quite large bowl so as to minimize the amount of powder all over the place. Now, as you can see right now, it's just kind of a dry consistency. I'm going to add a little bit of buttermilk, about a tablespoon at a time. That's going to add some more moisture to my filling. Okay, as you notice, it has come to a more creamy consistency. Now I'm going to, it's been about 5 minutes for my ganache. I'm going to take the ganache in my pan. I have the cream and the chocolate, and I'm going to stir it. And that's going to loosen the hot chocolate and mix it up. And you're going to stir it just until it comes together and is a smooth, creamy chocolate come together. And then that is going to be left to sit and cool while you finish your peanut butter filling. As you can see, the chocolate has now come to a nice, smooth, pouring consistency. And this is what's called a ganache, and this is going to go over the top of the cake. So I'm going to set that over and allow that to cool, and we're going to finish our buttercream. Now, I'm going to take a little taste just to see where it is. I think I will add about a ½ cup more powdered sugar. That's kind of crumbly. I'm going to add some vanilla to it this time. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of vanilla, which is a liquid, so it will give me some liquid in there, which I may not need to add any more of the buttermilk. You want it to be a semi-spreadable consistency. You don't want it to be almost as thin as an icing, but you want it to be a little thinner than that. Okay, I am going to add a bit more of the buttermilk. I'm going to add about 1½ teaspoon, a half of a tablespoon. I don't need a whole lot more of the liquid. And you want to carefully add your liquid because you don't want to thin it out too much. You notice it's a very nice, spreadable consistency. Actually, it is perfect. Okay, now that we have prepared our peanut butter filling and our ganache, we're ready to fill the cake. However, we give the beaters to my daughter to lick the peanut butter filling. Okay, now we're ready to prepare our cake. Finish the cake. Okay, you take one layer, turn the bottom layer upside down because the bottom of the cake is flatter and it'll make the top layer sit a little more evenly on the top. So I'm going to take my peanut butter filling and I'm going to spread the peanut butter filling on the top of the bottom layer. It's thick, but you want it to be. It's only to go in this bottom layer here, in the middle. This is a middle filling. So you spread your filling to cover the entire top of your bottom layer. And then you hand the bowl with the rest, the little bit that's in there, to your child to eat, or you eat it yourself, depending upon what you want to do. Then you take your top layer. You place your top layer on top of the bottom layer, of course. Now, you're going to be pouring the ganache over the top. Now, generally what I like to do, a little further, I like to take a fork and punch a few holes in the top of the cake. And the reason for that is it allows some of the ganache to soak down into that top layer of your cake. I'm now going to pour the ganache over the top of my cake.
No, you're not. You're gonna eat it.
And it's not, doesn't need to look fancy. The idea is to allow it to just roll down over the sides. Now my cakes tend to get, but the idea is to just allow the ganache to just roll down the sides of the cake. But you know what? She's got to wait till tomorrow to eat.
Tomorrow's my birthday.
And there we have, after you have finished, you cover your cake and you place it in the refrigerator because you want the ganache to harden. Store it in the refrigerator so that the ganache remains kind of at a thicker consistency and also to preserve your filling. My chocolate peanut butter harvest cake. Enjoy.